So we need to talk about SNAP benefits and the entire food stamp program, because I've been getting a lot of questions from people asking, hey, are we going to see an increase, or are we really seeing a decrease in our benefits? Well, that's what I want to address today. I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot of comments, a lot of emails. So first off, thank you guys for doing that. But let's get right down to it. So why are all these questions now starting to come in? Well, they're coming in because we now know that the debt ceiling bill has been passed. And because of this bill, it has work restrictions, work requirements that are in it, which is restricting certain people from collecting benefits. Now, here are the changes. So as far as the work requirements go, these are going for ages 50 to 54. But, and again, this is a big one, they exclude people in these categories right here. Those experiencing homelessness of all ages, and homelessness just means if you are technically homeless, okay? So you don't have a house, a shelter of your own, but you could be living in a car, you could be living in a tent, you could live in a trailer, or you could live in somebody else's home. That is considered homeless. So yes, you would fall within this category. Veterans of all ages, and youth ages 18 to 24 who aged out of foster care, which means you were in foster care at age 18. All these changes will end in 2030. Now, this is actually a big deal. And this is a big deal because for certain people that do not have children, that are not homeless, not a veteran, and didn't age out of foster care, well, if you're between the ages of 50 and 54, yes, you have these additional work requirements. And that could make it more difficult for you to go and get your benefits. Now, this is from a federal level. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people are asking about this cut, because yes, it's technically a cut, but states are actually looking at doing this as well. For instance, this is in Iowa. Look at this. So in Iowa, it says on Thursday, Governor Kim Reynolds signed a bill to change Iowa's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, into law. It says there will now be more eligibility requirements and checks on people that qualify for SNAP. It says the law restricts households with more than $15,000 in liquid assets and property aside from their house and car. Republicans support this idea, Democrats disagree, and this is where we currently stand. But I bring this up because of one main reason. This is exactly what many states are looking at doing, where they limit the amount of people out there that currently qualify for SNAP benefits. They're looking at reducing this number to bring down our costs. Keep that in mind. They're looking at bringing down our costs. But at the same time, we do know that Democrats say, no, we are not going to give in to this. We are not going to cut spending on SNAP benefits. We can cut spending elsewhere. Well, this brings us to our next fight, and this is a $1.5 trillion bill. This is a new bill. This is a U.S. Farm Bill. Look at this. It says the U.S. Farm Bill, up for renewal, could affect SNAP benefits. Now, when we go on and read this, it says the U.S. Farm Bill is up for renewal this year. This bill is renewed every 5 years. It maps out what kind of crops can be planted and provides disaster relief for farmers. It also provides money to rural communities for different projects like expanding internet access. The bill also sets aside dollars and places regulation on SNAP benefits. This is where multiple Democrats have come out publicly and stated that no, Republicans are not going to cut their benefits and not going to make it harder for individuals to go and receive them. Now, it goes on to say down here, benefits that folks are receiving only amount to $6 per person per day. That doesn't take long for that to run out, and it honestly doesn't. It says the Indiana Farm Bureau's National Affairs Coordinator Brantley Cyphers says the new farm bill is projected to be $1.5 trillion, and the SNAP program could receive $1.2 trillion of that money. That is what's happening. This is the new bill. This is what they are now having to go and discuss and negotiate before the end of September, because that's when this bill expires. And we have to get a new farm bill before then. Now, keep this in mind. What just happened? This past week, what happened is President Biden negotiated with Speaker Kevin McCarthy. So we have a Democrat negotiating a bill with a Republican. And we got the debt ceiling bill, the Fiscal Responsibility Act. In that bill, many Democrats were very unhappy with what was in it. However, they knew it was either this bill or the U.S. defaults on its debts, which would meant Social Security recipients would not have received their payments on time. SNAP benefits would have been reduced. We would have seen a major issue there because the money would not have flowed to the cards like it is expected to, or like many people are used to seeing. So because of that, Democrats were in a tough position. They had to vote for the bill whether or not they liked it, and that is why we received this bill, because this was a compromise bill. Well, guess what? Democrats say we will not compromise. When it comes to the farm bill, we will not compromise. And this right here is possibly why we are hearing talks of a SNAP benefit increase. Yeah, you may get an increase on top of the cost of living adjustment. That may be coming in 2024, or actually sooner, simply because of what is currently out there. And I'm pretty sure the cost of, again, I don't get SNAP benefits, okay? But I'm pretty sure the cost of living adjustment kicks in October, because that's the first of the fiscal year 2024 is in October. So because of that, this is a major bill. This is a very, very important piece of legislation, because if we see lawmakers go and discuss this and negotiate, and Democrats come out and say, you know what, we gave you this in the debt ceiling negotiation, you need to give us this. We could see that. Or this whole thing could actually backfire. But we will find out more information on that very soon. Now, I do want to read you another list. This is regarding SNAP benefits, or pandemic EBT, if you will. This right here is a list of summer participants for 2023. So if you are in one of these states, if your child goes to school, and yes, you do have to have a child. If your child or children go to school and they are in the food stamp program, or they receive free or reduced meals, then they will be able to get this check. It's $120 per child. Okay, it's $40 a month for June, July, and August. Right, $120 per child. Here's the list. We'll start at the top. We got Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, CNMI, Colorado, Delaware, District of Columbia, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska. Keep in mind, all these states, if you are approved, you get $120 per child. It's Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Keep in mind, even after the summer of 2023, if states decide they wanted to help, they can still go back, be approved, and send those payments to the recipients. So just because your state may not be listed on there, and my state, Washington State, is not on that list, okay? So because of that, I don't see Washington in here. So because of that, let's say I were eligible to receive this benefit. Well, should I be a little worried? Maybe. But does it mean I will not receive this benefit? No, not necessarily. Okay? So just keep that in mind, that this is something that you just need to be aware of, because there is a chance you do receive that benefit. Now, the last thing I want to say is when it comes to food stamps, right? EBT, pandemic EBT, SNAP benefits, whatever you want to call it. When it comes to this assistance, we already experienced a shortage, or a cut, a reduction, if you will, back in March, because that is when the supplemental allotment actually expired. And most states were not giving it. There are still some states that are providing this additional benefit, this supplemental allotment. Some aren't providing the $95 per month, but they are still providing something. And I bring this up because being that we saw the reduction back in March, we saw these work requirements change now, and if we see additional reductions or cuts come September, this is going to hurt millions and millions of people. There's more than 40 million people here in the United States that receive SNAP benefits. So this right here would be a massive loss to millions of people. Which actually brings up the question, are Democrats going to stand firm? Are they going to require additional benefits for SNAP recipients? Or are they pretty much just going to curl up in a ball and let Republicans take advantage of them? Well, we will see. But as we get more information, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All you got to do is two things. Go ahead, hit the like button on this video. Also click the subscribe button so you never miss an update. And I will see you guys on the next one.